What's up, everybody? Welcome to the What It's Like podcast. I'm your host, Cherry, and today I want to talk about leaving people where they are. I'm sure a lot of you have heard the phrase, everybody can't go, and honestly, it's one of the truest statements out there. Because not only will you leave people behind when you decide to go after what you want in life, but you will also leave people behind when you decide to grow on your own. Personal development is not something that can be forced on anyone, and it's never a good idea to stifle your own growth to keep someone in your life. And that goes for friendships, relationships, family, co-workers, whoever. Everyone grows and changes at their own pace, and it's only your job to remain kind and considerate when it comes to those people. I recently had a misunderstanding with someone, and I was really bothered by the whole interaction because I just expected more from that person. I was expecting their growth to match mine, which is something that you should really never do, because again, people grow at their own pace, and no matter who you're talking to, I feel like you should never expect them to be where you are. I could say never expect them to be, further along on their path, but I feel like that's not even really a fair or realistic thought to have. Like, you don't know where they are, but you definitely should never expect anyone to be exactly where you are on their personal growth journey. It kind of just doesn't make sense. People grow at their own pace, and different life experiences can heal or harm them in different ways. So basically, I walked away from that experience feeling disappointed, but after I took some time to process what happened and how they responded, I realized that we've always had that underlying thing there. Like, our communication was always off, and we've kind of been in the same growth pattern. Like, collectively in that relationship, we've never been in the same place at the same time. That's what I mean. It's always been like, so that type of misunderstanding was bound to happen anyways. And honestly, the more that I think about it, this exact situation has happened before, but different responses. The roles were reversed and the responses were different. And I know I'm being really vague about the actual situation and what happened, but my last podcast, like at the beginning, when it was just me, there were moments where I was a bit too transparent. And this go round, I want to be a little more considerate because the person may actually watch this. And honestly, the details of the story are not as important or more important than the actual message of this episode. So sorry about that. But the message here in this that I got from this story was basically just acceptance. If you want to have relationships with different people, then you have to be okay with who they are to a certain extent. Like, only you can determine if you're truly compatible with someone's morals or their beliefs or their behavior. But as far as their personal growth goes, there has to be some type of acceptance for who they are right now in this moment. And people change all the time. So even if it becomes like they're one way this way and the next day maybe they completely changed, if that is no longer like compatible with you at all, then it's okay. It is what it is. You don't have to have a relationship with anybody. That's a whole nother episode. And that doesn't mean that they will never change or grow, but it will make it a lot easier when it comes to understanding them and where they're coming from. And it can help you in classifying what kind of relationship you can have with that person. And that's not a negative thing. That's just acceptance. Like, all of your relationships are not going to be the same. And when I say relationships, I'm talking about all relationships, not just romantic. Like, all your friendships are not going to be the same. All your romantic relationships aren't going to be the same. All your relationships with your family are not going to be the same. You can't change people, and you can't make them see things your way. And because you have a different perspective, that doesn't make you right or wrong. The message here is respect where people are and don't be afraid to leave them there. It doesn't mean that you're a bad person. It doesn't mean that they're a bad person. But just keep in mind that you may not be in the same place, and you may not ever be in the same place. And it's up to you to decide whether or not you want to continue to have this relationship as you continue to grow personally. So that's all I have for you today. If you enjoyed this episode, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like this video, and leave me a comment. If there's anything that you guys want me to talk about, or if you just want to hear my opinion about something, leave it in the comments. I appreciate you for watching. I'll see you next time. This is what it's like.